Okay, today I am going to show you how to best shade a sphere or shade a circle to make that circle look like it has volume and mass, creating a sphere. So what you see is here is my reference photo here. You can see my light source is coming from the upper left-hand side, and so the sphere itself is casting a shadow to the bottom right. So the first thing that I'm going to do, as you can see, is I already traced a circle, and then I put in my cast shadow, and I sketch that right in, as well as my end of the table that kind of goes horizontally behind that sphere. First thing I'm going to do is with my 6B, you can see I went in and I created where my darkest shadow is, or my core of my shadow within that sphere. You can see that the concentration of dark is right here on this edge, so I'm making this part the darkest area. It still looks a little bit rough because I haven't blended it yet, but I will. Also notice the other thing is, in order to really make this look like a sphere, this shadow here follows along with the curve of the sphere itself or the ball itself. It's not a shadow that just kind of goes diagonally across the circle. So notice it is curved around. And as I work, I then take my blender and I blend to kind of like help to create that illusion of value a little bit more. And notice that I have my reflected light right down here, so I am leaving this a little bit open for the time being. But now I'm taking a H pencil, and which is a little bit lighter, and I'm just kind of fixing up that blended area there a little bit, and then blending and overlapping, almost kind of like, look how far back I'm holding my pencil. So I'm using more or less the side of my graphite lead. I'm not using the very tip. This helps me to kind of have more even strokes and not to kind of like see every single stroke I do on my sphere. I'm holding it to the side. I'm going back and forth, overlapping, and I'm creating a lighter tone. I'm having this tone kind of come up around here because the lightest part of my sphere is really this center part right here. But around this edge there is kind of like a little tiny bit gray. So I want to make this a little bit tiny bit darker. So you can see as I'm working with a 6H now, and I'm coming back down, working on that. I worked a little bit more on that reflected light. Now I'm going to come and I'm just going to come in with my 6B, and I am going to create that cast shadow. And one thing to notice with that cast shadow is it does get a little bit lighter here as well as here. So as I'm blending this, you might notice I didn't put as much pressure down here. So as I blend this part right there and over here will be a little bit lighter. You can see that as I work. Now there is a little bit of a shine just because the nature of graphite shines a little bit when the light hits it. So you can't quite see how dark this is in real life. Just know that that cast shadow is my darkest part of my drawing. Going back in, working on my reflected light, making it a little bit darker. Then I'm also, in order to really see this edge, what I didn't want to do, you kind of see if I go back a little bit, is I didn't want to just keep this line right there because it makes it look a little bit more cartoony, and I really wanted this to kind of pop out a little bit more. So I am going to go through and I am going to make using, I think I have a 4B or 2B here, and I'm putting in my background value, so it kind of makes this pop out in front of it. So it kind of defines that edge of my spheres for me, so I don't have to make a hard edge or hard kind of contour line around there. And then you can see that it gets a little bit lighter on this side, so I'm going in with a B pencil now, just to kind of lighten it up, not pressing down as hard. Then using again my blender tool to kind of blend that out and smooth out a little bit. Now going back in with an H pencil, and now I'm just kind of making sure, going back in, fixing anything up I need to fix up, making sure that it is exactly the way I want it. And there we have it. We have our sphere drawn in. It now has form to it.